So from an academic standpoint, we've learned recently about people using wearable devices and connected objects and the Internet of Things to act as an ethnographic method. How do you feel about that as a professional, and do you feel it takes away the human element?
That's as much news as it is me. That's everything. You recorded, but you didn't make me do it anyway. I'll do this with you again. So, I mean, one of the things Mimi was just saying, which I think is, pertinent here, is that data is only as good as how it was collected and the lens you apply to it. So, one of the interesting things about the quantified self movement and about a lot of the data that we produce about ourselves is you have to be able to interrogate it too, right? That there's a piece about, just because you have the data, does it tell you anything meaningful? If you've generated the data, is it necessarily what people want to hear about themselves? And, although I know we live in a world that at the moment seems to be fully taken up with the notion that more data equals more truth, I think more data just equals more data. And what's much more interesting is how do you start to make sense of it? How do participants make sense of it about themselves? And what are the ways in which they might want to tell a different or another story? So, I mean, again, for me, quantitative data is only as good as the qualitative story you wrap around it. Now, that said, I think, quantitative, particularly quantified self tools, are fascinating, and the communities developing around them are genuinely remarkable in terms of some of the things that are happening in that space. But there's also a way you'd want to apply the same kind of critiques about gender, class, as well as sort of notions of self to all of those things that become really interesting.